kitty, 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 kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. There y'all go. All three of the kitty crew. They love these treats. We want to thank B for sending these. Let's see. They're the Greenies, Feline Greenie Dental Treats. Savory salmon flavor too. Cleans the teeth and freshens breath. And I can tell you, they do. Look at them go. They love them to death. Yep. That's my crew. And I love them. And that's another thing I'll say. If you're living alone, you're a senior, or maybe it's just you and your spouse, and sometimes you feel a little lonely, and you wonder how you'll carry on, well, get you a pet, or pets, like I have here. 2023 has been a tough year for the little old man, as many of y'all know. And these three here, along with Gracie, my princess inside, have helped me to continue to strive. Yes, they have. You see, you gotta have a reason for living. A reason to carry on. And now, with most of us, those of you on the channel and community too, we're all my age or older too. The kids are grown and gone away and living their lives. So we got to find another way. And of course, I have my kitty crew. And you can see who finishes up last. That would be Cleo, the queen of the cats. And yeah, she makes that known pretty clear. But she's my queen. And I love her to death, as I do them all. So yeah, it's a beautiful day in my piece of paradise in the deep south of Alabama. Yeah, it's partly cloudy with deep blue skies. We got a light breeze. And it's about 83. You can't beat any of that. Life is good. And I'll take that. If you listen closely, you can hear the birds sing, as always here, on my little piece of paradise. Well, hello there, friends and family, and now again, it's been a while since I've talked to you. And like always, there's reasons for that. And we're out here on the front porch with the kitty crew. Of course, Cleo's exerting her queendom at my feet. Yeah, well, what I wanted to talk to you today, I want to premise this all as this is not about pity or sympathy. As many of you know, who've been with the channel a long time, you'll know this whole channel is all about documenting my life. What I do, when I do it, so my children, my grandchildren, when the old man's gone, can take a look back and see what Papa done. Yeah. Now I got so many of you that are also my friends and family too. I would have never thought it, but I'm ever so grateful that you all came along. But as many of you know, 2023 has been rather difficult for the little old man. Yep, on April 25th of 2023, we nearly died, and that's a fact. In fact, it was so bad, you know, I fell, I broke ribs, punctured a lung, and by the time I decided to go to the hospital, I had no choice but to drive myself. And I got there just in time because I collapsed in the ER waiting room. I was within minutes of dying. But because we have an excellent community hospital here in our little small town, they jumped right on it and saved my life. And I wound up spending a whole entire week there with them. And I can't say enough. If you're in this area, around Tallahassee, Alabama, don't scoff and give them hell. Our hospital is amazing. Every last one of them over there. But hey, here again, a couple weeks passed, you didn't see me too much. I was baking again. And that was because I got rather ill. Now what I had, who knows? There is a lot of speculation from friends and family that I may have picked up a virus. You know the one, and we'll leave it at that. Did I get tested? No, because it really didn't make a difference. But what I'm going to talk about today all started with a doctor's visit. I had to go in August and get a wellness check. Now, we used to call them physicals, but now they call them a wellness check. Now, that's where you get all checked out, get your blood work done, and everything. And that was I think August the 8th. And I did. Went in, did all that. They drew blood, and off I went. Well, they had scheduled another appointment for the end of August too, to go over the lab results with me. So I went in for that. And the conversation while I was in the examining room with my general physician all started out great. This is how it sort of went, or the way it actually went was, we got your results back from your lab work and everything looks great. Now I'll stop there for a second because he paused too. And I thought, whoa, amazing. But, yeah, it was that word but. Came out of his mouth. And he said, all but. And what he would say then was my PSA level, which your PSA monitors the level of a specific antigen that is only produced by one little gland in your entire body. And that gland is your prostate gland. Yeah. Now I'm 67 years old and I'm a man. Now this doesn't pertain physically to females, but I think it's important to know, and that's why I'm going to do and keep you all up to date and document the whole process I'm going through, just what goes on. So I had went through this before in 2016 through 2017. And here again, during a wellness check, my PSA level for this antigen was past the limit and raised some concern. Of course, now back then, if I remember correctly, it was only a little bit over the threshold. Now the threshold, we say consider normal, is from 0 to 4. Mine was like about a 4.6. But that spurred my physician to have me continue having some tests and see a specialist, that being a urologist. So I did. And he did the test again, and sure enough, it was above the limit. Then I had to have x-rays. I had to have a DRE. What a DRE is, they call it a digital rectum exam, and you might think that's taking pictures, x-rays, CAT scan, or MRI, but it's not. A digital rectal exam is when they take this finger and go up through your back door and they feel your prostate. That's the first step. Which mine was what they called a little bit enlarged and doughy. Well, then this particular urologist, after we had to go through an MRI, which, slices you up by thousandths of an inch to see if you have anything they can recognize as being cancer. This is used for brain cancer, breast cancer, what have you. But then, since they really couldn't see nothing, they went ahead and said and recommended there was a certain blood test at the time, and it's still available too, that you can take. Now granted, it's only going to tell you if you have cancer at that time. And it's expensive. And I had to pay for it myself because the insurance wouldn't cover it. But yeah, the insurance wouldn't cover it. And that was Blue Cross Blue Shield. I went ahead and paid for it out of pocket because I wanted to know. Well, after a few weeks, I went back and the results were in. I didn't have cancer at that time. Not nary a bit. So we didn't do no more. And this will fast forward to what happened, this wellness check, in August. So once I had been at my general practitioner's, and they told me my score was elevated, it was a 9.6. Now understand, the normal range is 0 to 4. Also understand, even back then, and over the course of knowing that, I spent a lot of time looking in to the prostate, the symptoms, the causes of prostate cancer. About 100 hours or more. More here of late for the news I got just this past Wednesday. This is Saturday. So it's only a few days back. So I went to the urologist. This is a new one. We talked it all over. They ask you a lot of questions and that about how you do things, urinate and what have you. And I answered them all correctly. And that's important. You should. And with that said, they said, well, we're going to test you again. And that's exactly what happened. I got another test at that point, and I was hoping, and I was praying, and I was wishing it would come back differently. Well, that's when I went back in this past Wednesday. And, you can hope and you can pray and have all the nice thoughts you want. But who knows God's plan? I don't. And it came back, not at 9.6, but 9.7. Another thing to tell you about this PSA, of course, if this is a problem in your life, I'd say read all you can and get the facts. But I'll sort of lead you on the way. Your PSA level, once it gets to a certain point, it tells you how aggressive the cancer may be, if indeed you have it. Now there's another cause or two that your PSA level can be high. Now, with mine at 9.7 now, and the limit's 4, that's concerning. At least to me. And, I try to stay optimistic about things. I'm not a pessimist by any means. And most of you know that have been with the channel for a long, long time. This channel's always been trying to show the uplifting side of the world more than how everything's gonna kill you today. We even did that through the pandemic. Yeah. but it can't always be about unicorns and rainbows. Another favorite saying of mine. But I'm a realist. I think that's because I'm such a logical person. That's why I was such a good engineer. I depended on logic, math, and science to guide my life. But I'm still a man of faith. There's no greater mathematician, scientist, and logical person in my belief as in God. But I don't know what his plan is. But I know this. Before you ask for help, you got to do all you can. I totally believe in that. And I think the scriptures back me up. But that's my belief, and it may not be yours. So I had this now 9.7. It actually went higher. And that was not the news I was wanting. Not a bit. So yeah, now what happens? What's the next step? And that's what, when I do a video about this is what it's going to be all about. My journey through all this time. Not only so I can remember it, but for my children and grandchildren. And any of you that want to benefit from it too. So now what's up? Well, now they're going to schedule an MRI. And that's magnetic resonance imaging. And basically what it does is it slices up your body with x-rays into very thin pieces. I don't know how thin, but they're pretty darn thin. I think thousandths of an inch. And then it recreates a picture of just what your organs and everything look inside. Now this particular tool, the MRI, is used to find brain cancer, bone cancer, and what have you. And we're going to use it, or it's going to be used on me to see if that little old gland, the prostate gland, has cancer too. So, that's the next step. I have yet to receive a call when my appointment for the MRI is ready to go. And that'll happen, not here in Tallahassee, but I'll drive to the capital city of Montgomery, smack dab in the center, to the Jackson Hospital Medical Campus. And I will be getting that at Jackson Imaging. Yeah. That's one of the largest hospitals in the capital city and in the state. So, that's where we're at.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Fantastic. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
You GoPro me?
Yep, I'm GoProing.
You have a YouTube channel?
Yes, I do.
What's it called?
Deep South Bama with Mr. Tom.
I'm having a birthday party today.
You are? How old are you?
9? No, actually
10? Well, happy birthday.
10. Nice to see you.
Huh?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Alright, you have a good day.
You too. Well, there you have it. That's two young boys in the neighborhood. Living life, riding their bikes, and having a good time, like many of us used to. You know, kids don't do that much anymore. You don't see it that often. I wish they did. They're really missing out. But anyway, back to me. So because of the news this Wednesday, instead of making videos and doing what I could, I'll be honest, I delved right head first back into researching what it could be. And yeah, it can be nothing more than an enlarged prostate. Yes, it could. But other than that, There's not much else it could be. First of all, they don't even know to this time what causes prostate cancer. Of course, they'll tell you, as always, you know, smoking, drinking, of course, that's everything. And yeah, it is. Yeah. And of course, I have health complications already of high blood pressure that I take medication for. And that's an issue. And some blood pressure medicines can have, you know, elevate your PSA score too. And I looked all that up, and mine wasn't one. Well, I was hoping. I really was. But that didn't come to be. And then, other than enlarged prostate, the other alternative is cancer. Now, I'm not all into thinking I have cancer, because if I do, I'll be the first one in my family, either on my mother's side or my father's side, to ever have it. But that doesn't mean it can't be, because we each live different lives and are exposed to different things. And over my career, I've been through some nasty things, and I won't get into all that. Some of the environments I've tread through and worked in, you can't even say they were healthy at all. So that might be part of it. Has my diet always been fantastic and all good? Well, I'll be the first to say, no, it has not. But that going back, people that have done all these things still get what I may be facing too. But as far as I know right now, I don't have a thing. I looked up all the symptoms, and I'm not suffering from anything that old age doesn't bring upon you too. Yeah, I get up at night. Yes, I do, to go to the bathroom. But that doesn't have to have anything to do with your prostate, just old age. And I found that as I get older, the urgency to go becomes more relevant than it used to. When we could brag, we could go all across the country and never go. You know what I mean, guys. Yeah, it used to be a standing joke how we men prided ourselves for that and kidded our wives for not. But you know, other than high blood pressure, which may have an impact, you know, I have COPD. And that's all because of the environment I worked in, and plus, I'll be honest, I smoke too. Which, you know, back in our time, more people did than not. I mean, everybody in my household smoked when I was coming up. Yeah, you see everybody that you're fond of and love and admire too doing something, you sort of emulate it as well. I guess that's the best excuse I can give. But I got Cleo wanting to give me some love. Cleo, you want love, Papa? You want love, Papa? And that was another thing came out here to do. Just let the kitty crew know what was up with Papa too. Cleo, you give me some love and make me feel okay. I love you too. I do. Papa loves you. It's a special day, huh? Yes, I love you. I love you lots. Come on, get down. You're digging your nails into me. You don't want to. Well, as you can see, Cleo knows, I guess from the sound of my voice, or what have you, maybe she understands. And she knows I need some special loving today. And that I will say this is the first time for that. Yep, now we got Cleo up in my lap. But hey, I wanted to come on here today so you would know what I'm facing. There's nothing solid yet, and I'm not all too concerned about it at the moment. Now, there's many paths to take. Some may say put our faith in Father God and let it all be in His hands. Well, I'm going to put it in His hands along with doing all I can. I'm going to go through the process, and that's what it's going to be. The next thing up is an MRI, and I already know after that they'll still want to do a biopsy. But you know, the part about getting the MRI first is they can use the MRI to target where in the prostate they need to go to get the sample of tissue. And I thought that was a good idea. And that's why I recommended, even though they didn't, they wanted to go straight to a biopsy, I brought up the fact of getting an MRI first. So yeah, this is about my journey. And as we go through it, it may be for naught. But if it is, we'll take you right on down the steps to the very last one. But we're going to do everything we can to help ourselves. Okay? I'm not just going to put it all in God's hands. You know, I don't think He wants me to. He gave us everything on this earth, so He said in the book. He gave us knowledge and everything else to use to take care of all of us. And I'm not going to be one of those that, you know, sitting on the roof of a house with the flood waters rising. Well, God, why didn't you save me? I was depending on you. God said, well, at first, you know, I sent a boat or two, but you said no. You're waiting for something else. I sent a helicopter last, but you turned it down. So here you are with me. And you know, that's so true. You see, I think our Father wants us to do every last thing we can within our power. And I already know the treatment course. You know, should the MRI show nothing, and then the biopsy does, well, then we get into the treatment and what that entails. And that can be several things, from radiation to chemotherapy to certain drugs. But like I said, as we go through this, from time to time, I'll let you know. So if you, and I'm talking to you males, ever face this, you'll have a little bit of solace or knowledge in what you can do. I'm no expert. No, I'm not. But I'm pretty knowledgeable now of just all what's going to happen, no matter the outcome to come. So hey, as much as I hate these videos, doing all this, I needed to explain, document my journey. Because there'll be times you don't see me too much. And this is the reason why. You know, it's hard to always be up when you have these things weighing over you. Think about it. Yeah, I'd always like to be smiles, showing you the best things in life. The rainbows and the unicorns too. But that gets back to that saying. Life's not always that way. In fact, in my life, there's been good times and bad. But if you curved it all out, life's a struggle. And you gotta keep clawing, digging, and grabbing on. So hey, until the kitty crew, you know them all, Cleo, Spooky, Speedy, my Princess Gracie inside, sometimes Heathcliff, and Fluffy Muffin too. See you on that next video of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood. Y'all take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Well and happy. Wherever you may be in this wide world of ours. And may God bless you as you have blessed those in your lives. Goodbye for now. Well guys, now you know the situation of things. But don't worry. Pop's got this. Yep. He's gonna always be here for you. Yep. As they used to say back in the day, God willing, and the creek don't rise. Well guys, I gotta go in and hunt up some grub. And I gotta make your grub here in a little bit. Speedy, are you just relaxing there, stretched out on the step as Cleo is there? Poor Spooky. They ran on off to over there. Well, that's a wrap for this one, guys. Until we see you again on the next one. Later, all.